Our long national nightmare is over. Or something like that. Okay, the trade between the Cavs and Celtics finalized Wednesday night didn't reach Watergate levels, but Kyrie-mageddon had plenty of twists and turns. The Cavs ultimately sent four-time All-Star guard Kyrie Irving to the Celtics in exchange for a package of Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and T. Zizic, the Nets' 2018 unprotected first-round pick and the Heat's 2020 second-round pick. More, ranking 25 best NBA stars to change teams in their primes. There was talk of injury issues, possible additions and other teams lurking in the background in the week leading up to the official trade. But this was a deal that needed to go through for both sides. It almost felt like the Celtics' statement following the acquisition of Irving should have ended with a sigh of relief. The trade is now complete. Now that the dust has finally settled, it's time to figure out the winners and losers from this tumultuous transaction. Winner, Kyrie Irving. Pretty simple here. Irving wanted a trade out of Cleveland, and that's exactly what he got. He will be the primary scorer and creator for the Celtics, but he won't have to do it all by himself. Gordon Hayward is a great secondary offensive weapon and underrated defender. Al Horford is one of the smartest screeners in the NBA, a huge plus for Irving in the pick-and-roll game, and he can space the floor without using a ton of possessions. The Celtics are used to picking up the slack for a point guard with defensive deficiencies. Youngsters like Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown should help, so if Irving can be passable there and provide stellar offensive production, this could work out just fine for Boston. Rafferty, how Irving could fill Thomas' shoes. Fit in Celtics system. There's still some risk, of course. Irving could lean heavily on his isolation tendencies and frustrate his teammates. He could be just as poor defensively as Thomas and cause the same kind of problems Thomas did last season on that end. Celtics president of basketball operations Danny Ainge knew this, though, and determined the reward outweighed the risk. Irving is a 25-year-old star entering the prime of his career, and those guys are rarely on the market. Irving found the role he wanted on a team that should compete for the Eastern Conference crown. Yes, that's a big win. Have been told that Kyrie is ecstatic about the trade, looking forward to playing for Brad Stevens and understand the #Celtics tradition. Gary Washburn, at Washburn Globe. August 31, 2017. Winner, LeBron James. The king is still the king. James has two new teammates in Thomas and Crowder who should come into the 2017-18 season with huge chips on their shoulders, ready to prove the Celtics were wrong to trade them. And you can bet James will be right there with them in wanting to extend his NBA Finals appearance streak to 8 and deny Irving the chance to play for a title. The Cavs remained competitive. Some may argue the Celtics actually helped their biggest rival improve in the present and built up assets for the future. Zizic is an intriguing prospect who could become a starter down the road. The Nets' first-rounder could turn into a potential star like Michael Porter Jr. or Marvin Bagley III, or if Cleveland is really trying to convince James to stay, it could be used as trade bait for another piece of the championship puzzle. James was always going to have options as a free agent next summer, but there had to be some concern he would lose a chance to build on his legacy this season. That's not the case with this trade. Loser, Isaiah Thomas. The NBA is a business like any other, but this must have felt a bit personal. Thomas was Boston's leader, both as an offensive force and fan favorite who quickly accepted everything that came with Celtic pride. He gave the team everything he had, playing through hip pain and the death of his sister in the playoffs and assisting in recruiting efforts to snag guys like Gordon Hayward. Players around the league clearly felt like he was done wrong by the Celtics. More, Kevin Durant doesn't think LeBron is going anywhere. The very public nature in which this trade played out also didn't do Thomas any favors. While Thomas says he is not damaged, teams may still be hesitant to hand over a max contract to a soon-to-be 30-year-old point guard with health issues. Thomas will no longer have the opportunity to build off the highest scoring season of his career because playing with James is an entirely different animal. He will do his best to adapt, but this is not an ideal situation for him in terms of his financial future. If nothing else, Thomas knows the deal is done. He can focus on rehabbing his hip and the season in front of him. But man, it's been a rough week. Winner,
Jay Crowder because Jay Crowder seems like the type of dude who will never forget this and use it to destroy his enemies. Josh Okogie and Jay Crowder getting some Sunday work, and yes,